The Siege dev team did something incredibly rare today. They acknowledged the cheating issue and admitted that they're at fault. They've never done this before. Normally they sweep things under the rug or just are like, oh, cheating's not that bad. Or they say like, oh, we're actually handling the cheating situation really, really well. But for once they said, no, it's out of hand and we need to do something about this. They put out a whole blog post explaining everything, and then they put out a video with Alex, with him talking about what's going on. So I did a reaction to both of them. I read through the blog post and I reacted to the video. I did read through the blog post and then watch the video, but I think the video is way more important than the blog post, so I'm going to put that right here at the beginning. It's now much later in the day, and I saw that the Rainbow Six Siege Twitter account put out this video from Alex about the state of cheating in Siege. I haven't watched it yet, so you're going to get my live reaction here, and then I'm going to dissect it a bit more, see if there's anything that we can gather from this. Because overall, the overall anti-cheat update seems very lackluster.
Hey Siege community, Season 3 is just around the corner, and we can't wait for the reveal. But before we get into Season 3, we want to provide an update on player protection. Our priority has always been to preserve the competitive integrity of Siege. Since launch, though, it's clear we did not hit our mark.
That is true.
And it's with no little frustration that we feel the same as you do, that the level of cheating has been unacceptable recently.
I'm going to pause right here to quickly say, I know a lot of people will give Ubisoft a lot of flack for the cheating situation, which is 100% warranted, but it is incredibly rare for them to fully admit that it is bad. I don't think ever in recent history, Ubisoft has come out and been like, yeah, no, cheating is really bad and we have fucked up. They almost always just say, actually, cheating is at an all-time low and our anti-cheat's done really good. So it's good to see them actually take some responsibility. And also, this whole post, everything they've done here, they've never done this before because they always just try to ignore cheating a little bit and be like, it's not that bad. So at least they're doing something.
So I'd like to take a moment to talk about what we've been doing and what you can expect leading into Season 3. First, we'd like to give you some information as to what's been causing the uptick in cheating. If we simplify things, SiegeX made many large changes in code to lay a new foundation for the game, and many exploits were found and abused by some players after the release of the season, on top of an increase in players suspected to be using cheat supplier products, meaning more reports from you. With the popularity of SiegeX, these things combined changed the scope of cheating in Siege, which required us to adapt to this new reality.
What I find really surprising there is they blame the new coding, which is fair. Like, SiegeX changed a lot, so obviously the new coding is going to mess a lot of things up. And then the popularity of SiegeX, but they didn't blame the fact that the game's free to play. They didn't at all say, oh, because the game is free, we got a huge influx of people coming back to cheat. I assumed they wouldn't take responsibility there, because then obviously people would say, well, revert it, don't make it free to play, and they can't do that. But obviously, it being free to play is probably the biggest issue. Cheaters can make an account, cheat as much as they want. As soon as they get banned, they just make a new account, and there's no stopping them. So I find it really interesting that they did not acknowledge that at all, and instead they just tried to say it's the code, it's the popularity. But we all know it's the free to play. Free to play ruined any chance of there being no cheaters.
The team has been working hard on all fronts, and we've deployed many robust hotfixes, including a significant anti-cheat patch this week. We've made strike teams to tackle exploits in-game. Bans from Shield Guard and BattlEye have made a big impact as well.
I'm going to just quickly pause it again, just because they said they released a huge patch for Shield Guard. Here, a significant anti-cheat patch. The day that that patch came out, I faced a cheater. Literally like 3 hours after the patch came out, I had a blatant running around aimbotting cheater. So I don't think that anti-cheat patch actually really did anything. Now, they do say that they made some patches for the exploits and stuff. That I can't speak on 100% because I don't know how they're even doing it. I don't know how to recreate it. I don't know if people have been doing it because haven't had anyone do it to me. I only ever see it in Hacker Replay. So I don't really know for sure if those patches have actually worked, but they have multiple times in the past said, we have fixed this exploit, and then the exploit's still a thing. I'm going to just trust that they're telling the truth on this and that they actually did fix it, but I can't say 100% certainty that it is fixed.
From Shield Guard and BattlEye have made a big impact as well, averaging over 1,000 permabans per day for the past week.
Over 1,000 permabans per day for the past week would put them at a new record for bans, because earlier today when we saw the other post, it said that July, I think, had like 13,000 bans. So if they had been banning 1,000 per day for last week, that would be 7,000 in just the 1 week of August. And then obviously we have all of August before that. So maybe they actually are getting rid of a lot of the cheaters, but I haven't noticed it. Every single day I play, I always have cheaters. Minimum 2 cheaters per day. And I only play for like 3 or 4 hours. And I'm not even playing ranked. I'm playing unranked. I have been playing unranked nonstop for the last week because it's just so bad. Like, they're banning a lot, but I'm not feeling the effects so far.
Overall, we're confident we're now hitting the level of anti-cheat we expect for Siege. And we're already seeing the results. Each day, our in-game cheating reports are going down. You'll find all the technical details that we can share without compromising our operations in our player protection blog post available this week, outlining how we're fighting back.
I cannot say I agree with him there. I cannot say I feel like cheating has gone better, because it feels like every day it gets worse. There's a reason I've been playing a lot of other games and streaming shorter, because it's just so bad. But he did mention something there that I talked about earlier, where I said they can't explain too much in their blog posts because they can't compromise their operations. They can't compromise what they're doing and letting the cheat developers know what's happening. So they did explain a lot earlier, but it was, like we said earlier, a lot of nothing. It was a lot of fluff because they can't say a whole lot.
To this end, I'd like to also take a moment to thank our live teams, everyone on the front line and our Shield Guard team for their tireless work facing these challenges. They are feeling the heat, but their dedication to the game is absolute thanks to your support. The feedback you give and the reports you make, it all makes a huge difference. Together, we're making Siege better.
Now, I'm not gonna like shit talk employees or anything, but he does say, kudos to the live team and stuff. I don't know exactly who is on what team, but if the live team would include Ubisoft support, I can say for sure that a lot of people in my community have said that they have reported people through Ubisoft support and their tickets are just immediately closed. The person does not get banned, the ticket does not get viewed, it's just immediately closed. So I don't know if I can say that I'm feeling their dedication to the game if the tickets are just getting closed. Luckily for me, as a content creator, I have avenues where I can report people and have them manually reviewed and banned, but this is not for everyone. Obviously, they can't do that for absolutely everyone, so they have the support team, which is supposed to help with that, and again, everyone just tells me that all their tickets are immediately closed. They're not getting any responses. They don't even have it looked at. So I don't know if I agree with that last statement. It feels like everyone's been on holiday and they're just like, take care, enjoy the cheaters. We'll deal with this when we're back from summer vacation. But maybe he's talking about a different team. I don't know for sure. They have 1 million teams. There's like 1,000 employees on Siege. It's impossible for you to know what departments are what and who's responsible for what. But I don't know if I can agree with that last part. It does just feel like everything is kind of shit's hit the fan, and it has not been fun. I am hoping that Season 3 is better, but seeing as how they don't even acknowledge that free-to-play is the issue, I'm afraid that they're just going to keep blaming other stuff, and cheating is going to only get worse. But, I'm still optimistic. Even with saying all that, I'm optimistic, and I hope that I'm proven wrong, because if Season 3 is good, I'll actually play ranked a lot again, and I'll enjoy the game all the time, as opposed to enjoying it until I face a cheater and then just wanting to end stream. So that's it for the video. Now we're going to go over the blog post. This is a lot more text and information heavy, but there is some good info here. They have some graphs, some information. If you really care about anti-cheat, I'd recommend watching this part too. A new anti-cheat update blog from the Siege team. So we're going to look through it. I have not seen any of this. So I have zero clue what to expect, but I'm going into it expecting a lot of corporate jargon of like, oh, we care about the game, we're working on it, but probably not any results because we're still facing cheaters all the time. So in this update, they are going to address just the overview, exploits, shield guard security, live security updates, and account-related bans, as well as anti-toxicity stuff. The R6 Shield Guard team is here to give an update on anti-cheat, blah, 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 and their plans. So overview. Since the launch of Siege X, it's clear that there's been a huge surge in cheater reports. The share of matches featuring players who receive 4 or more cheater reports within that single game has risen from an average of 1.8% to 2.5%. The spike is tied to the evolution of in-game exploits and the ongoing development of cheat programs. We know the impact that this has had on the enjoyment of the game for many, and we are very actively working on solutions. We've deployed several fixes since launch, though some of the improvements needed to strengthen R6 Shield Guard will require long-term development. Our goal is to make meaningful progress throughout Season 3 and beyond, ensuring we protect the game's integrity and improve your overall experience. So if you guys were playing last year, you'll remember that New Blood was horrible for cheating. It was horrible how many cheaters there were. And Siege X is about the same. Not as bad. New Blood was way worse, but Siege X, there is a lot of cheats. The only thing I don't like about this is that you can't see, like, what does this y-axis mean? I know it's the amount of matches impacted, but, like, there's no percentages, there's no numbers, so we don't have anything to actually know. Like, this could be a 1% change, this could be a 90% change. I don't know. And someone in chat said you can see the Christmas surge. It's actually surprisingly very little, because the season would have come out early December, spiked up a little bit with Christmas, and then it actually got worse in the new year. What's funny is that you see console is actually the biggest cheat increase when it comes around Christmas time. Because people always like to say, oh, console, you can't cheat on console, bro. Zimming, Chronos, exploits, those are all super common on console. There's more cheaters on console than there is on PC. But now people are just they got used to it that they're like, oh, you know, it's not aimbot, it's not wall hacks. But I'm like, it's still cheating. It is very bad cheating. But anyways, exploits. With the release of Siege X and the increased number of players, bugs were found in the game that could be used to gain an unfair advantage over other teams and players. These exploits are also a form of cheating. Straight from the horse's mouth. With the help of our community, we've been able to address several major exploits as part of our most recent patches, including multiple teleportation glitches, legitimate external overlay applications providing an unfair visual advantage, that's the LBS cheat, impossible diffusing spots or impossible use of weapons and gadgets, and crashes caused by specific operators. So that's talking about the castle exploit. That impossible diffusing spots is probably the roof exploits, but they still are in the game. Like, we just had it in Hacker Replay. Buck went into the roof or went into the wall. Thermite, or not Thermite, but like people on Oregon can just go into the roof and plant on top floor. It's terrible. So those still haven't been fixed. We've also identified and are actively fixing additional issues with updates rolling out as soon as they're ready. We want to sincerely thank everyone who has contributed, content creators, that's me, players, and those who have submitted reports via R6 Fix, that's never me. Your input has been crucial in helping us reproduce and resolve many of these exploits. To further prevent new exploits, we're working on a global solution that includes stricter tolerances in given situations to prevent similar exploits. We continue to monitor the situation closely. So that's good to hear that they're planning on making it stricter, because right now the big issue is that a lot of the times these exploits are found because the game is like, okay, like this shouldn't happen, but maybe they're lagging and we're just going to give them the benefit of the doubt. What they need to start doing is more stuff like, this shouldn't happen, so reset you back to your previous point. Like when you're rappelling through walls or rooftops, like if they see that, they're like, this shouldn't be possible, they should just reset you, but they don't. So hopefully that stricter tolerances is a good fix, and hopefully it comes soon, because that's should be a pretty easy fix. That one shouldn't be a long-term solution. R6 Shield Guard security. Through Operation Daybreak, we have developed or deployed several updates to our underlying in-house obfuscation technology, which hides and protects game code. So that's QB. These updates are strengthening our defenses while we're already seeing some positive trends. Actually, that's binary hardening. More updates will be coming with every patch and hotfix. We're also constantly investing in reducing and stopping new gameplay violations while improving our detections, targeting specific cheat features and providers. This, unfortunately, is like a whole lot of nothing. I get why. They can't give specifics, because if they give specifics and they're like, oh, we've made this one change that will now stop this cheat, the cheat providers will know that and fix it. So they have to be really broad, which for us sucks, because this is just a whole lot of nothing. They're like, oh yeah, we've done this and we're doing more. Doesn't mean shit to us, but it is important that they at least stay somewhat vague, because the more specific they are, the easier it is for cheaters to, fix their cheats. Live security updates. You may have noticed that Siege X occasionally requires a game restart and update. I actually have never had that happen. And even on the days where, I remember on the first day of Siege X, I played 10 hours straight, and it never required a restart or an update. But this is part of a new system a new prevention system, which has strengthened our anti-cheat defenses overall. While the system has been effective, we've identified bugs that have caused some players to be disconnected from matches or unable to reconnect. We understand how frustrating this can be and sincerely apologize for the disruption. Our team is actively working to resolve these issues so that players can benefit from the enhanced protection without any unintended side effects. I don't know. I feel like this is a nothing burger for me. People in chat are saying they have it happen to them a lot. I swear I've never had this happen. Not once. Account-related bans. We're actively developing new tools that detect accounts linked to previously banned cheaters. If a banned player attempts to return, they're flagged and removed as soon as suspicious behavior is detected. In addition, we're working on systems to hold players accountable if they knowingly squad up with cheaters. This is part of our broader effort to protect the integrity of the game at every level. So this has two things. One, it's good that they're somehow linking it back to previous cheaters and then banning them. I don't know what exactly that would mean. It could be hardware ID, but we don't know that for sure. It could be linking it to like similar accounts, like, oh, this person got banned, and then this other account logged in and started playing with the same people, and they're also cheating. So like maybe stuff like that. But this part is good. They are working on a system to hold players accountable if they knowingly squad up with cheaters. So there was that leak that happened where people explained a very specific system. And when I asked Ubisoft if that was true, they said, no, it is not true. It is not, there's no system like that implemented. They are working on something like that, but the way that it was leaked is not accurate. So it's probably going to be something like if you play majority of your matches or something with cheaters, you'll just get banned. Something like that. Now here's the big thing. Perma-ban numbers. BattleEye plus Shield Guard bans. It does concern me that the biggest peak of cheaters being banned was in January when, if we go back up here, they are half of what the cheaters are now. And I understand this big ban came from cheaters over Christmas not getting banned. But like we have so many cheaters now and we're getting less bans. So how do we have twice as many matches affected, but somehow only like a 10 to 20% increase in bans? That's a 80% discrepancy. That's not good. To be fair, there isn't data for August. I mean, August is only 2 weeks old. We've had 2 seasons of crazy cheats, June and July. This should be way higher if they're dealing with all the cheaters. What also confuses me and slightly concerns me. So here, you can see at the beginning of June, there were very few matches impacted by cheaters, and then it almost like tripled, right? Why is it they are detecting so many more matches being affected by cheaters, but there's less people being banned? Does that mean that they are knowingly letting cheaters cheat even longer? Like, I know they've always done that, and I've explained that before, but this just seems like they are watching a lot of cheaters but not banning any of them, and I don't know why they're doing that. Why would you not just ban them as soon as you detect that they affect a match? It makes no sense to me. So for the last 12 months of permaban data, including the new data for April to July, we can see here that the number of monthly bans has remained steady since the launch of Operation Prep Phase, with over 11,000 permanent bans issued on average per month. Verizon cheaters being felt during the month of July, however, investigations were started into whether our systems were still banning with the same effectiveness as previous months. The investigation led to adjustments being made to R6 Shield Guard, which resulted in an additional wave being completed in early August. So maybe August will spike like crazy. We'll see. And it says, how can you help? Activating two-factor authentication so your account doesn't get banned or hijacked. You can report people in-game. And then final note, protecting the game from cheaters and exploit abusers remains one of our top priorities. Throughout July, the team has consistently delivered fixes and improvements in order to release stable solutions. Some of the fixes may take some time, but our commitment to act quickly and effectively when issues arise continues. Elements of our Shield Guard updates are also already underway, with more to be revealed soon. The issue is, how many times can they tell us solutions are on their way, they just take time, before people get tired of this and move on? I feel like we've been hearing for months or years where they're like, we have fixes on the way. It just takes time. I'm like, it's been taking time. And I understand. I am the biggest advocate for, I know anti-cheat takes work. It takes time. But like, you can only say that so many times before people are like, this is just taking too long no matter what. And I feel like we're reaching that point where people are already getting completely fed up and they're like, I just don't want to play anymore. And it's completely understandable. Like, I've had so many people recently in my chat, just be like, I'm quitting the game until anti-cheat fixes the cheating issue. Countering cheat software is a developing thing. There's a new something all the time. And I know I am a big advocate for defending the anti-cheat team, but I'm just saying, like, you can't just keep saying soon forever. People are going to get tired and move on. And I feel like that's happening. But anyways, reputation system. Look at the numbers. Looks like overall majority of people are respectable. 82% of the community is respectable. And then as time has gone on, your chance of being exposed to disruptive communication has gone way down. This is another graph, though, that doesn't really mean anything because there's no Y information. It's just a chance per month. Is this 100%? Was it before 85% and then it went down to 5%? I doubt it. This is probably like 60% and then this is like 58%. It could be either or, and we have no idea. It's a lot of reputation stuff, which I don't think people really care about. It says here, in year 10, season 3, we'll be introducing the next step of chat moderation Siege in the form of voice chat moderation. With this addition, players flagged by the system will receive a warning and be subsequently muted if flagged again. So this is what we talked about earlier, where they're going to add a voice chat system, and it's going to monitor you in-game. So if you have like a cheater on your team and you start shit-talking the cheater, you'll get flagged and possibly banned for voice chat abuse, which is kind of crazy, but I kind of get it at the same time. Like, there's a lot of people who do a lot of crazy things in voice chat, so they deserve to be banned, but I'm afraid it's going to flag a lot of innocent people. I'm also really scared about saying Jaeger now, because even YouTube auto subtitles sometimes says when you say Jaeger, it thinks it's a very bad word, and you are not saying that word. So I can't imagine the voice chat system is going to be much better than that. Ban penalties, although necessary, can be a source of great frustration for those who receive them unfairly. This season, we've already lessened the length of penalties, which I think is terrible. Though there is more to come, we are actively working to implement a system that will target repetitive patterns over a longer period and subsequently enable us to reduce frustration for others. So I assume that basically means that if you only abandon once in a blue moon, you'll probably never get really a real punishment. But if you're abandoning every week when it resets, then you're probably going to get more severe penalties. Privacy mode is making its way to console in year 10 season 3 with the release. We'll be making some important updates to the privacy mode across all platforms. Starting next season, nicknames will be auto-assigned, removing the possibility of bad actors creating toxic usernames. So on the plus side, we'll never have to deal with people having the N-word in their privacy mode name. But on the downside, we can no longer be Balberto and Ernesto. We're just going to have randomly generated names. So that's good and bad. No more funny names, but no more racist names. And the final note, they're very proud of the evolution that they've made with our feedback. I'm not trying to talk too much shit, but I do feel like a lot of people would be like, if you're very proud with the state of how everything's going, that is bad, because the cheating is insane right now, and I feel like it's not something to be proud of. But maybe the systems that they're working on behind the scenes that are about to release will be really good, and that's what they're proud of. I don't know, but this feels like not a great situation to be proud of, because it is really, really bad. But that is the anti-cheat update. Overall, a lot of nothing. We didn't really get a lot of accurate information. It was just a lot of broad, we're working on this and it's coming. And that's what happens every time. Everyone always just says, it's coming, it's coming. And I say that as well, but like, how long can we wait, right? Final sentence in the privacy mode is interesting. What did it say? Did I miss something? All players will have their nicknames removed at the end of the match, revealing their true usernames. Oh yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I can already see that with our 6 tracker, but yes, that will be nice for everyone else. Why can't they just mod it better? So the privacy settings, or the name thing, does piss me off, because like they could just add a fucking filter, or a more severe filter, but instead of doing that, they're just taking away our customization, which, I mean, also, here's my theory. I think on other games on console, you can't write your own nickname. You have to have an auto-generated one. Like, I think Fortnite does that. So I think that's why console never had privacy mode. Now that they're switching to auto-generated, I think that's why console can have it. So I think that's the only reason console's getting it in season 3 is because they changed it to auto-generated. That's my guess. But yeah, that's the anti-cheat update. Unfortunately, a whole lot of nothing, but we'll see what next season's like.